Hey, what is up, everybody? I am here to give you my WWE RAW review for March 14th, 2016. So let's just dive right into it because I'm really tired right now, so I just want to get this over with. Because I was going to do this yesterday, but I didn't have a chance. So we had JBL, Michael Cole, and Byron Saxton on commentary for this show. The first match was Xavier Woods and Big E with Kofi Kingston defending the WWE Tag Team Championships against Alberto Del Rio and Rusev with Sheamus and Ken Barrett ringside. I like that they kicked right off with this because it was something different to start off Raw, so I thought that was good. I remember the New Day cut a promo talking about bootios, but not gonna lie, I'm so tired right now. I don't really remember what the promo was. But I remember it was good because I was entertained by it. And I think they even talked about how they see greatness all the time and stuff like that. And, I like that they had Xavier Woods wrestle the match because they took a rib on Twitter saying that Xavier Woods is like the weak link of the team, so I liked that. The match wasn't bad. It was a decent match. It was a fine opener. They got the heat on Big E for a little while, and then Xavier Woods got the hot tag, and then they got the heat on him, and then a Big E got the hot tag, and Xavier, and then eventually Kofi Kingston got on the apron, takes out Sheamus and Ken Barrett, and then Xavier Woods rolls up Rusev holding the tights for the win. Then afterwards, the League of Nations beat the shit out of the New Day. Barrett hits a bull hammer on Kofi Kingston. Sheamus hit the bro kick, I believe, on Big E. Del Rio hit that double stomp to the shoulders on Xavier Woods, and then Rusev got him in the accolade. So afterwards, the League of Nations looked strong. Wasn't really a huge fan of that because it just wasn't. I don't really like that they're doing this feud. I think they should have just done it at Roadblock and then that was it. But yeah. So then Dean Ambrose comes out to cut a promo and he talks about how he came up this close to becoming WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He literally tasted it, but he said that that's okay because he made a mistake, and he even says that Triple H, he's going to say that Triple H definitely underestimated him. He definitely took him lightly. And then Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman come out afterwards, and Paul Heyman reminds him that at WrestleMania he's facing the Conqueror Brock Lesnar, and he talks about how Dean Ambrose won't. Brock Lesnar won't forget that Dean Ambrose took away a chance for him to become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and he says that he's happy Dean Ambrose didn't win the title because Dean Ambrose is the only one crazy enough to face Brock Lesnar. Then Dean Ambrose calls Brock Lesnar to come down to the ring, but Paul Heyman says he's going to save this match for WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar goes to make his way down anyways, and then Dean Ambrose pulls out a crowbar and he tries to hit. And when Lesnar tries to make his way to the ring, Dean Ambrose tries to hit him with it, but Lesnar gets out of the way, and it ends with Dean Ambrose looking strong. I actually liked this segment here. I thought it was really good, and I really enjoyed it. Then we had Ryback versus Sin Cara with Kalisto inside. It was whatever. Ryback won with Shell Shock. Kalisto was wearing black attire in this match. And I kind of hope they do eventually go in the direction by splitting up the Lucha Dragons. I think that would be really cool. And having Sin Cara turn heel and feud with Kalisto for the United States Championship. I think that's the direction they should have gone for Mania instead of what they're doing here. So then Ryback gets on the mic and says that Kalisto says that Sin Cara put up the best fight that he could, but the big guy just ended up beating the little guy, and he challenges Kalisto to a match at WrestleMania for his United States Championship, which it hasn't been accepted yet, to my knowledge. But I thought, I thought it was just, I mean, it makes sense, storyline sense, why you want to do Kalisto versus Ryback because of what they did with that tournament months ago. But I'm just not digging this feud. And then all night they were hyping up Burger King hot dogs, and they showed like great dogs in WWE. They showed Mad Dog, Bacon, the Junkyard Dog, and the Road Dog. So I thought that was kind of cool to see those legends. And then Stephanie McMahon cuts a promo, and she brings out Triple H, and Triple H talks about how we are able to relate to Dean Ambrose because Dean Ambrose gives us that hope because we want to have that hope every single day. We're just like him. We always complain about not getting a raise. We always complain about our jobs for 30 years. But then afterwards, and then he even says that our wives and kids don't respect us. Then afterwards, we get like a 30-year win for working there, and then you go home to your apartment because your wife and kids have left you, and you just, that's what it's like being with Dean Ambrose. I thought that was a good promo, and then he says that Roman Reigns is gonna fail just like Dean Ambrose did, and then Dolph Ziggler comes out afterwards and talks about how he does this for the fans. He hates the fact that he's insulting the fans, and he's going to continue to come to work every day, no matter how often they try to hold him down. And pretty much, he calls Stephanie McMahon a bitch, and Stephanie McMahon says that Dolph Ziggler's going to have a match, and Dolph Ziggler thinks at first it's going to be like a big time handicap match with his hand tied behind his back, but that's not the case. He's going to have a match, and if he wins this match, he can pick any match he wants to have at WrestleMania, except a match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, which doesn't make a lot of sense because all the matches were pretty much booked, so I don't know what match Ziggler would have chosen. And he ends up facing, and Stephanie McMahon says he's going to face Triple H, so that was kind of exciting, knowing the fact that Triple H was going to be wrestling on Monday Night Raw, because he hadn't wrestled on Monday Night Raw since 2013. But still, it's still a huge deal because he really doesn't wrestle that much on Raw anymore. So seeing him wrestle on Raw was definitely something fresh. And then that was it. I actually thought this was a great segment here. I just kind of ashamed because a lot of the stuff they're saying about Dolph is true. So then the next match, it's Sami Zayn versus The Miz with Kevin Owens on commentary. I thought he did a good job on commentary as always. And during the match, it breaks down. Sami Zayn hits a dive on Miz, and then Kevin Owens gets in Sami Zayn's face, and then Miz ambushes him from behind. And then Kevin Owens tries to take a cheap shot at Miz, but Miz gets distracted by this, and Sami Zayn hits the haluva kick for the win. I thought that was fine. I kind of hope they go to the direction of Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens for WrestleMania. So then the League of Nations get interviewed, and they'll say the most dominant faction in WWE, and they challenge the New Day to a match at WrestleMania. Kind of wish they were just going to have the New Day defend the tag team titles at WrestleMania, but I guess you can't always get what you want there. And then we get Brie Bella and Alicia Fox versus Naomi and Tamina Snuka. Lana was out watching the matchup, and she screws Brie Bella over, and Tamina beats her with a pinfall. Then afterwards, Alicia Fox gets mad about it, but then she gets double soup kicked by Naomi and Tamina. Then afterwards, that was it. So I thought that was, I actually didn't really pay attention. I was texting my friends during this match. Then we get the social moment, and the social outcasts are pretty much advertising Burger King hot dogs, but whatever. And then Paige gets interviewed and talks about how she's happy because it's WrestleMania season and she's really looking forward to being a part of it. And then Lana comes up and says that you need to stop making friends with all the Americans on Total Divas. And then Paige says that what have you done in the WWE? All you've done is just stay here. You haven't done anything in the WWE, and all you've done is go from man to man. And then Naomi and Sasha Banks come up and ask if they have not Sasha Banks, but Naomi and Tamina Snuka come up and ask if they have a problem, and she says no. It was okay. It was just pretty bland. I mean, they should be using a Paige a lot better than this. Then Charlotte gets interviewed and talks about how she's known Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch longer than anybody in the WWE, and talks about how she had to literally hold Sasha Banks' hair back because she was nervous for her first match, and Becky Lynch always was training in the gym by herself, and she says that she's gonna request a time to speak to them on SmackDown. So then we get the Usos versus Bo Dallas and Adam Rose with Heath Slater and Curtis Axel inside, and the Dudley Boys were doing commentary for this match. The feud between the Usos and the Dudley Boys in theory should be something good, but it doesn't really feel like it's anything special. Again, I forgot the Dudleys were signed to WWE, which that is not my fault, considering the fact that it's the Dudley Boys. They don't feature them as a big deal, and the Usos squash him here, but they announced that the Dudley Boys are going to face the Usos at WrestleMania, but that match was just whatever. Then Dean Ambrose is backstage, and Mick Foley wants to know why Dean Ambrose wants to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and he said because he has to. And he even asked him like why he Mick Foley continued fighting, after Undertaker had beaten him up on the side of the Hell in a Cell. So Mick Foley gives him a gift that's a passing of the torch, and he gives him Barbie, the barbed wire baseball bat, which I thought was awesome. I loved this passing of the torch segment. So then we got Dolph Ziggler versus Triple H with Stephanie McMahon. I thought this was a really solid matchup. I didn't even think Triple H was going to wrestle the match. I thought something was going to happen with Stephanie McMahon's going to say that Ziggler's going to have to beat this guy first, and then he can wrestle not Sheamus, but Triple H. And it didn't happen. Triple H ended up winning with a pedigree and a pretty good, solid back and forth matchup. Then afterwards, Roman Reigns comes out and beats the shit out of him, which he still got booed, which I felt bad for him for. And, beats the shit out of him, bounces his head off the announcer's table repeatedly like he did to him a few weeks ago. And, beats the shit out of him going backstage, hits him with a trash can, which busts him open, and then hits him with a TV monitor. But then Jack Swagger, Mark Henry, and the Usos have to hold him back. They announced that Jacqueline's going into the Hall of Fame, which I'm stoked for because I've seen a few of her matches, and she looked like a pretty tough woman, and she was the only one to hold the Cruiserweight title. So she definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Goldust is backstage, and R-Truth is dressed up like a penguin since they're in Pittsburgh, and he didn't even know that, which I thought was hilarious. And he said that him and Goldust could be together forever, ever. And he asked for him to be his pet tag team partner. Goldust says no. I actually did think this was kind of funny. Then we got Chris Jericho versus Neville. Now, Chris Jericho goes off again, talking about how the fans had a chance to cheer him, but they chose to cheer AJ Styles instead, even though AJ Styles really isn't that good. And then they have a match, and Neville ends up tearing his knee when he tried to go underneath Jericho. So they had to end the match early, and Jericho tried to beat him with a roll-up, but Neville ended up kicking out of it. So Jericho even pushed him and said he's injured. So the ref disqualifies him, and then Jericho talks about the fans turn their back on him, and then Styles comes out and lays out Jericho with a forearm. I thought this was fine. I hope Neville's going to be okay, because that looked like a pretty bad injury. And it's bad for him to miss Mania right now, so I hope he ends up being okay. Then Undertaker confronts the McMahons. Vince McMahon comes out and talks about Undertaker is his weapon of destruction, and then all this stuff that Shane McMahon's promising is not going to happen. And then the Undertaker comes out. Vince says that he didn't really appreciate him grabbing him by the neck, but he's going to let that slide and not put it up anymore. Shane McMahon comes out and says that he's been studying tapes on how to beat The Undertaker, and he has a way to do it. He's just lying, by the way. He's in denial. And Shane McMahon says that I'm going to beat you at WrestleMania because I have heart. And he asks when he became Vince McMahon's bitch. And Undertaker says that he is nobody's bitch. He runs on his own path. And he says that all that stuff won't be enough. And then they start going at it. Undertaker lays him out with a choke slam because he's the fucking Undertaker. He's the fucking man. And then that was the end of the show. Sorry this video was short, but I'm just really tired. And I just wanted to get it up and over with. But overall, I thought Raw was a passable show this week. If I had to give it a rating, I'd give it like a 6 out of 10 because it was passable. I don't think they still did enough to really get me hyped for... the other thing that is keeping me hyped for WrestleMania is the fact that I'm going to WrestleMania, but I'm saying like if I wasn't going to WrestleMania, this wouldn't really hype me to want to see WrestleMania. But they still have 2 weeks. Hopefully they can pull something out of their ass. But overall, that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.